Welcome back to the Histology Lab on Maryville College campus. I'm Macy Holt.
And I'm Matthew Hale, and today we're going to be looking at electrolytes. Now, electrolytes have been given a lot of attention lately in the media in regards to health and nutrition sciences. Now, all these are ions like sodium, potassium, chlorine, and phosphate. But from these, sodium and potassium are perhaps the most important because of the role they play in every one of your cells, much like these neurons we're about to look at. So, these ions are important for maintaining membrane polarity of all of these cells, which is critical to their functions. Now, when you sweat, you lose these ions. From this, many brands like Gatorade and Powerade have been marketed specifically to replace them. Now, this led us into the question we're specifically going to be investigating today. Are brands like Gatorade and Powerade, which are marketed for their electrolyte content, better or higher in ion concentrations of sodium and potassium than other common foods like apples, oranges, tomatoes, bananas, or tomato juice? And we're going to figure this out using
flame photometry. A flame photometer is used to measure alkaline metals. Now, alkaline metals are found in the first column of the periodic table of elements. These metals are highly reactive. In fact, they're so reactive that they're not commonly found in their free form. Instead, they bond to compounds or other ions. Now, what we do with the flame photometer is use a flame to ignite the alkaline metal. When the metal is ignited, the atoms excite, and once they cool, they emit a specific wavelength that the flame photometer measures. So, we can measure sodium and potassium in things like the banana, orange, apple, tomato juice, and Powerade and Gatorade.
Now, let's run to the lab. Go! The process begins with preparing samples of each of our test substances. As seen here, sampling the liquids required first centrifuging a small volume to remove any unwanted particulate, diluting to a controlled ratio of the test substance to water, and then vortexing to ensure uniform distribution of ions throughout the new dilution. For fruits, the process was slightly more involved. They first had to be processed to remove any skin and blended. From here, a specific mass of the blended fruit was taken, added to water, and homogenized. Once homogenized, samples could be centrifuged to remove suspended particulate and diluted. Once diluted, they were ready for quantification too. So, it's been a long process, but I think we found an answer to the question we posed yesterday. Remember, we wanted to know if various fruits and vegetables like spinach, apples, bananas, and tomato juice had higher concentrations of two critical electrolytes, sodium and potassium, than Gatorade and Powerade. So, after creating a series of standard curves necessary to quantify these unknown ions, we were able to figure out just how much were in each of these food substances. And here's what we found. Coming in first, we have tomato juice. With the highest concentrations of both ions, tomato juice does the best overall at supplying these two electrolytes. Coming in second, we have spinach, which, like tomato juice, supplies both ions in high concentrations. And tied for third, we have fruits and Gatorade and Powerade. Fruits supply much more potassium than these drinks, but lack in sodium, which Powerade and Gatorade readily supply. So what we found here today in the labs at Maryville College is that sodium and potassium are found in very high concentrations in spinach and tomato juice. So,
the next time you're going to have a really hard workout or sweat a lot, grab a big tall glass of spinach and tomato juice.
Macy, drink up. And we found all this out through the science of food.